Hello, good evening. It's a Thursday night and you're welcome to the Game Plan Show. My name is Fiifi Anaman and not Godfred Akotobwafo, who I have kidnapped. I'm just messing with you. Godfred had to attend to some issues, so today as the producer of the show, I'm standing in his stead. Now we have an exciting lineup for you this evening. We'll be telling you about a man called Ohene Djan, who is the first Ghanaian to serve as CAF Vice President, as well as on the FIFA Executive Committee. We'll also be talking about Supreme Court Justice Annin Yeboah, who has attained a very high post in the footballing world at FIFA. We'll also be telling you the sad story of former national welterweight champion Isaac Aryee, as well as we'll be dissecting the squad recently released by new Ghana coach James Kwasi Appiah, which is the local Black Stars or the Black Stars B team that he has named. So yes, we'll be back to do the discussion in just a bit. Okay, so let's go straight into action. And new Ghana coach, or is it even new, James Kwasi Appiah, the returning coach, who started work on May 1st, has begun actually working this week by naming a 31-man CHAN squad. Now, he has been monitoring the league. He's been saying a few things about it. Now, he said that fortunately, I have been able to watch 5 or 6 games and I have been impressed with the performance of individual players and the tactical play, and I think it's a good sign of development. So that's Kwasi Appiah speaking about the local league. Now, he has released his list, and I'll just run you through the list, and I'll be doing a discussion in the studio with my colleague Thomas Freeman Yeboah, or Nyama Yeboah, as he always tells me. Thomas, you're welcome. Yeah,
thank you.
Finally managed to get Thomas on the show. Okay, so let me just run you through the list. For goalkeepers, we have Felix Annan of Asante Kotoko, Razak Abalora of Wafa, Richard Ofori of Wa All Stars, and Joseph Ado of Aduana Stars. For defenders, we have Fatal Mohammed of Hearts of Oak, Eric Owusu of Bechem United, Daniel Dakwa of Aduana Stars, Abdul Bashiru Bechem United, Ibrahim Moro of Bolga All Stars, Nicholas Opoku of Brekum Chelsea, Awal Mohammed of Asante Kotoko, a controversial addition in there, Malik Ismaila of Tema Youth, Samuel Safo, not surprising at all, the captain of Liberty Professionals, and Farouk Adams of Elmina Sharks. For midfielders, we have, unsurprisingly, Gideon Waja of Wafa, we have Emmanuel Lomote of Dreams FC, and then we also have, let me see, Majid Ashimero of Wafa as well, Isaac Chum of Inter Allies, Winfo Kobna of House of Folk, Paul Fiachi of Great Olympics, Emmanuel Jenfi of Asante Kotoko, Beckham they call him, and Patrick Razak of House of Folk, Joseph Pencil of Tema Youth, Richmond Lamte of Wafa again, and Zakaria Mumuni of Aduana Stars, formerly of Wafa. For strikers, we have Nicholas Jan of Ebusuan Dwarfs, Stephen Safo of Brekum Chelsea, Derek Sasaku of Aduana Stars, Richard Atta of Wa All Stars, the defending champions, and Joseph Esso of Ebusuan Dwarfs. Now, Freeman, the 31-man squad named by Kwasi Appiah in preparation of the CHAN qualifiers, as well as the Wafu tournament, which will be held in Ghana in September, we've heard. Now, what do you make of the list? Are there any surprise inclusions, anyone that he left out?
Yeah, you look at the list, it's fairly good. And any list, it has got its shortcomings, and we'll delve into that. I think that for the goalkeeping department, it's okay. That's the best we have in the country domestically. Felix Annan, good goalkeeper. I'm impressed with
what he has been able to do with Asante Kotoko so
with
far.
Asante Kotoko. Razak Abelura, Wafa goalkeeper. The last game he played, he wasn't splendid in post because he considered a goal that I didn't expect a goalkeeper of his caliber to. But you look at his past record last season, what he did and what he's been doing this season. It's okay. Then Richard Ofori, Black Stars, the Team A goalkeeper, so definitely should be in the list. And Joseph Ado with Aduana Stars, he's managed to unseat Stephen Adams.
Who was a former CHAN goalkeeper.
Yeah, CHAN goalkeeper. He did so well in the 2014 CHAN tournament. So the goalkeeping department, I'm okay with what Kwasi Appiah has released as his 4 goalkeepers in his 30-man squad. Then in goalkeeping, we have a host of players, Fatah,
in defense.
Then in defense, one would say that Awa Mohammed shouldn't be in the list. But for me, what he's done after joining Kumasi Asante Kotoko, he's been one pillar in defense. Kumasi Asante Kotoko have been shambolic, but for Awa Mohammed, you can make a case for him.
How many matches has he played, and what has been the same?
No. One thing is that it shouldn't be the number of matches a player has played. Richard Ofori this season, how many matches has he been?
Richard Ofori has actually featured in 3 matches.
He's
had a man of the match performance in each of the 3.
So you can say, you can't base your argument on the number of matches someone has featured. It's about the person's impact. So for Awa Mohammed, he's been one player who has been solid, commanding or he's been controlling the Kumasi and the back since he joined the team, and we can't overlook his prowess, what he's done over the years. So if he's joined Kumasi and the and all of a sudden he's doing well, and the coach trusts in his ability and he think that he can really help his cause, I don't think it's far from right. So I am okay with
you believe
but you can Stephen Anochibedu is one player who is missing the list. That it shouldn't be, because he's one player who's played so well. He's been effective, very, very influential in the defense of Aduana Stars, who are one of the teams performing so well in this season league. So he is one
player you expected.
Yeah, I expected him to make the list.
Stephen Anochibedu,
centre back for Aduana Stars. So you look at the entire list, some players for this season, they've been revelation, very instrumental in their team. For a player like Samuel Safo, a defender who has scored 6 goals so far, really his works got him into the list. And for the midfield, Gideon Waja, Emmanuel Lomote, this young chap with Dreams FC, he's been very, very effective for Dreams FC. Although they are playing in Division 1, but in the second tier, you can't overlook what he's doing over there. He's been influential in midfield. He's been winning balls, distributing balls, and I think that his works have really paid off, and that has got him there.
So, Fima, you have no problems with the midfield?
With the midfield, I think that is okay, is good, but there's one missing player, one player who is missing in the midfield. That's Thomas Aryee
of Hasselhoff, the captain of Hasselhoff,
the skipper of Hasselhoff. You look at a midfielder who has scored 4 goals, and he's been very, very influential with getting to the back to support defense, and also when he's surging forward, he's very, very effective. He moves into empty spaces to get the balls at the back of the net. So
he's been scoring and assisting as well.
Yeah, you can't leave him out of your team, and I think that is one big mistake that Coach James Kwasi Appiah has done. And you know, this list, he's come up with a list based on reports and other things. He's watched about 6 of them, but he would also listen to other people who have watched the entire first half of the season and look at or hear what they have or their inputs. So I think that is something that he shouldn't have. Thomas Aryee should have been in the list.
So Thomas Aryee is the missing name in midfield. Now, let's move on to the strikers.
One missing name is Daniel Lomote. He scored 5 goals with Wafa. He's been influential in the Wafa attacking force in recent times. He scored against Wow Stars and other host of teams, and I think that this
at the point he was scoring in
consistent games. So I think that in order to boost his confidence and morale, he should have made a list moving forward, so that this will urge him on to do more. So he is one player who should have. For Richard Aryee, we've not seen much of him this season, but he's a player who has got this track record. He has the track record, and he has the pedigree in terms of scoring a lot of. He's been influential in big games. Last season he scored against Hasselhoff, Kotoko, and other teams. And this season I think that maybe he was looking at a point, looking for greener pastures overseas. That's had a negative effect on his play, or it didn't enable him to see a lot of action. He's even a player that's Kumasi and Kotoko currently, and they are in agreement that he will move during the second half of the season to Kumasi Asante Kotoko. So he's one child who is very, very good. He's not scored a lot of goals this season, but I think that per what he's done over the years or last season, that has made a case for him in the list. Then Joseph Esau is also a good player, but I think that I compare him with Daniel Lumute. I would have chosen or selected Daniel Lumute ahead of him. But look at the entire Derek Sashaku. He scored just 3 goals, but his
the way he links up play,
and his total contribution to team play is something we can't overlook.
Exactly.
He plays as a supporting striker. He assists. He creates a lot of spaces.
I mean, he's a massive asset for
a tormentor. So if you have such a player and you get a goal poacher helping him, he can create a lot of spaces, and also there will be much attention on him. He's very good in the air, and everything goes in his favor. So for Nicholas Djan, he scored 8 goals. Last season he wasn't an out-and-out striker, but this season he's been scoring a lot of goals. Sometimes he's not the arrowhead, but his goal scoring prowess are really amazing. So I think that this what we have at the moment, and Kwasi Appiah hasn't made a lot of mistakes in the 30-man squad he's brought, but any squad that you release, people have loopholes, I think that for Thomas Harvey, player like Daniel Lumute and Anochibedu, these are the missing players that I think
missing ingredient.
They should have made the list.
Okay, so thank you very much, Thomas Freeman, Annin Yeboah, for helping me dissect the 31-man squad released by James Kwasi Appiah. They will be preparing for the 2018 CHAN qualifiers, which will begin in August against Burkina Faso, as well as the September tournament, which is the WAFU tournament, which Ghana will be hosting. So Freeman believe just 3 conspicuous names missing, and apart from that, James Kwasi Appiah, who admits he's watched about 5 to 6 games, has done well in the selection of the squad. Let's go for a quick break, and we'll be right back on the game plan. Okay, so we're back. I'll be telling you, without much ado, about our next item, which is that Justice Annin Yeboah has been named the chairman of the FIFA Disciplinary Committee. So yes, that's yet another height attained by a Ghanaian official in the world of football politics. Now, Mr. Annin Yeboah has been a lawyer since 1975. He was called to the Ghana Bar. He was called to the bench as a judge in 2002, and is a huge football fan. And for those of you who have no idea who he is, he has been serving various capacities across the GFA on the appeals committee and as well as the disciplinary committee. He has also served on the appeals committee of CAF, which is the Continental Football Body, and just in May last year he served on the adjudicatory chamber of the FIFA Ethics Committee, and he has been rewarded with a post as chairman of the FIFA Disciplinary Committee. So congratulations to you, Justice Annin Yeboah. He has been a Supreme Court justice since May 2008, and he's interestingly considered to be one of the front runners for the soon-to-be vacant post of Chief Justice of Ghana. Yes, Madam Georgina Wood will be retiring somewhere next month or two, and Justice Annin Yeboah's name has been one of the ones which is being speculated as a possible successor. So we'll be following the story and bringing you more updates, but for now we'll be celebrating him as the new chairman of the FIFA Disciplinary Committee. Now let's just move on to our next story, and I'll be telling you, still in the world of football politics, the story of Mr. Ohene Djan. Do you know who he is? I mean, a few years ago, the Accra Sports Stadium was named after Ohene Djan, and I'm sure most of you have been wondering, who was he? I mean, most of you have heard that he was a football administrator, but did you really know the full extent of his influence or of his power or of his fame? Well, I'll be telling you his story. Now, Mr. Ohene Djan is popular to have been the chairman of the Ghana Amateur Football Association. He rose to that post in 1957, and guess what? He was aged just 33 years. He was just 33 years of age, and he was not a known name in football politics. He was a businessman. He ran a cocoa business in his hometown in Sawam, Before then, he has served in Kwame Nkrumah's cabinet in the early 50s as deputy secretary of finance. So he was a politician and a businessman, not a sports person, but he rose to that post. He led an agitation that proposed the administration of former FA president Richard Aryee, who had been the most powerful FA president in Ghana in the 1930s as well as the 40s and 50s. So yes, Ohene Djan rose to that post, and in 1960, when Ghana became a republic, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, our founder and first president, named Ohene Djan as Ghana's director of sport. Now, he headed an organization called the Central Organization for Sport, which is a sort of sports ministry-like body. So yes, Ohene Djan became director of sport in 1960, and in 1963, at a CAF meeting, at the CAF Congress, I should say, he, alongside Ethiopian Idnakichu Tesema, I hope I mentioned that name right, I've always had problems mentioning that Idnakichu Tesema, who later became CAF president, he, alongside Ohene Djan, became CAF vice president, the first and the second CAF vice president. They served under an Egyptian CAF president. So yes, that was it. Ohene Djan was the first Ghanaian to serve as a CAF vice president. This occurred in January 1963. So that makes our current FA chief, Kwasi Nyantakyi's achievement the second native man to attain that post. Now, before then, in 1962, Ohene Djan had also been voted onto the all-powerful FIFA Executive Committee. So yes, Ohene Djan was on the FIFA Executive Committee as well as CAF Vice President, which ironically, we have the same situation for our current FA President, Kwasi Nyantakyi. So Ghanaians have been shining since time immemorial. Ohene Djan was doing us proud way before Mr. Kwasi Nyantakyi, and we are not taking anything away from the achievements of our current FA chief. We just felt we'll educate you a bit on what Ghanaians have been achieving in the world of football politics. So that's the story of Mr. Ohene Djan. For those of you who had never heard of him, I hope you felt educated by this. Now to our next item, and guess what? Michael Osei, the former coach of Asante Kotoko, he is the new coach of Liberty Professionals, which happens to be the club of your regular host and my boss, Godfrey Akotoba. Now Liberty will be playing Accra House of Oak on Sunday in the Ghana Premier League, and Michael Osei, that will be his first game. And Michael Osei has been speaking. He said that it is his, it is his aim to make sure that Liberty recover. Remember, Liberty before last Sunday's Premier League game, which they won against Temayud by 2-1. They had gone about 7 games without a win, so they've been going through tough times there. And he has come in to make sure that the scientific soccer lads at least make a healthy shot for a top 4 place. So Michael Osei, who is a former Kumasi Asante Kotoko coach as well as assistant coach. He was assistant coach of New Dubiasi when they won the FA Cup in 2012, as well as assistant coach of Kotoko when they won the league and cup double in 2013 and 2014. Now, he will also play for Asante Kotoko in the early 90s and won 2 league titles. And yes, so yeah, that's Michael Osei. A bit of trivia for you. Michael Osei is 45 years old, and he once played at Mainz 05, and he played alongside current Liverpool coach Jurgen Klopp. So yes, Michael Osei and Jurgen Klopp once played together. Of course, one of them is coaching Liverpool FC and another is coaching Liberty Professionals in Ghana. So that's just the update on Michael Osei for you. Let's move on to our last story before we bounce out of the studio. And the unfortunate story of former Ghana welterweight champion Isaac Aryee. Now, he was knocked down in an accident involving a police officer. Very, very sad there. On the Mortuary Road, the police officer was from the Mamprobi post, we are hearing, and then he broke his neck, and he has been in critical condition for a while. He was admitted, and it was announced by the Boxing Association that he would need 14,000 Ghana cedis to undergo a surgery, and there's been a lot of pleas for money. And former sports minister, the Honorable Lante van der Poy, has come out to say that he will foot the bills of Isaac Aryee. So that's a very honorable thing for the former minister to do. He said that he was abroad when he heard of the accident, and as soon as he returned to Ghana, he paid a visit to the hospital bed of Isaac Aryee and gave his wife 1,000 Ghana cedis to take care of him. That was a preliminary amount that he gave out, and later learned that he would need 14,000 cedis. So he has pledged to foot the entire bill. So thank you, Honorable Milante Vanderpoort, for coming to the aid of Isaac Aryee, one of Ghana's boxing. Thanks for joining us for the Game Plan Show. My name is Fiifi Anaman, and thanks for following us on our various social media platforms on Facebook, Pulse Ghana Sports, on Twitter, Pulse Ghana Sports, on Instagram, and as well as on Snapchat. You can visit our website, pulse.com.gh/sport for more sports news. We'll catch you again on Monday when Godfred returns with more ingredients for the game plan. Good night.